The defendant will rise, face the jury, and hearken to its verdicts.
Zachariah Anderson. As to the first count of the information, we, the jury, find the defendant, Zachariah Anderson, guilty of stalking Sadie Beecham as charged. As to the second count of the information, we, the jury, find the defendant, Zachariah Anderson, guilty of stalking Rosalio Gutierrez as charged. As to the third count of the information, we, the jury, find the defendant, Zachariah Anderson, guilty of intentional homicide of the first degree as charged. As to the fourth count of the information, we, the jury, find the defendant, Zachariah Anderson, guilty of hiding a corpse as charged.
Oh, I put it in the wrong stack. Yeah, you may be seated. Members of the jury, are these your unanimous verdicts? You have heard the clerk reading verdicts finding the defendant guilty as to each count of the information. I'm going to pull you by seat number 1 through 6 across the top, 7 through 12 across the front. If you agree with each and every one of these verdicts, finding the defendant guilty as charged, please respond by saying yes. If there is any of the verdicts with which you do not agree, even one, please respond by saying no. Were these and are these now your verdicts? Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6? No, 5?
Yes.
Okay, 6, no, 7, yes. 8, yes. 9, yes. 10, yes. 11, 12.
Yes.
All right, any further requests with respect to the jury?
Not from the state.
No, Judge.
All right. Folks, I want to thank you for your service in this case. I could not have asked for a more cooperative, pleasant jury to work with. And in no way am I commenting whatsoever on the outcome of the case. In terms of the length of the case and what the original expectations were, some of the interruptions and long breaks, and I could go on. You have been, I've never worked with a more patient and cooperative jury, and it's been a true pleasure for me to do that. This is far more important than most people realize. I mean, our entire freedom in this country is dependent upon people like you who take time off at great sacrifice to perform this service to their fellow citizens. And it's a guarantee of freedom against oppressive government that other countries don't have. And it's because of people like you that it's kept strong and handed down to our children and the generations which follow us. So there is no way I could adequately express the gratitude we have for you folks. And I want to advise you that you're never under any obligation to discuss your service on the case with anyone. You're welcome to. There are no restraints in terms of how much or how little you want to discuss it.
Are you sick of having issues with your webinars, wasting time? Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard.
Sometimes people will contact you. Very rarely some of the lawyers sometimes will contact people and just ask for pointers or whatever. Sometimes the media will. I haven't seen a lot of that lately, but keep in mind that you're welcome to talk or welcome to say, I don't care to do that. And you're right either way, whichever way you decide. There is only one possibility that you would ever be required to answer any questions about your service here. That's very remote. I've been in the criminal courts over 50 years. I've only had one case where that occurred, and it was a very minor matter. So I would not expect that you would be asked to do that. If that did happen, that request would come directly from the court and would be a court proceeding here in the open court. Other than that, you don't have to answer anybody's question if you don't want to. You're ineligible for jury service for 4 years. You've already done.
They want to know if they can have a lifetime.
A lifetime exemption. That I can't do, but you certainly have earned one, if that's what you wanted. But I'm hoping that maybe one or more of you may have.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear? She said, can she have a lifetime? She don't want to do the jury duty no more. Okay, let's get back to it. And blessings to everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Greetings, 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 and blessings. Resume. And Celine, I see you popped up. I ain't see you in a while, girl. And blessings to you. Resume.
Enjoyed it enough to want to participate again, but in any event, for 4 years, you shouldn't be contacted about jury service. And go with our greatest gratitude and have a wonderful day. Thank you. If you need papers for work or anything, just see the bailiffs.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I said to y'all a few times, I haven't really followed this trial heavily, just a little bit, but the little bit that I did see, his expression is no different from before. I mean, he just been found guilty, and this is it. And he has the same expression as before. Interesting. Resume.
Mr. Gravely.
Judge, I'd move to revoke bond and ask the court to set a sentencing date.
Defense?
Judge, we would be asking the court to enter judgment notwithstanding the verdict.
All right, the state's motion will be granted. The defense motion is denied. And set a date for sentence. Pre-sentence investigation is ordered. The defendant's bond is revoked.
Looking at the afternoon of May 17th. Any more time for CSR?
I think we want more time because the defense is going to want to prepare our own sort of memorandum.
So the week of, for instance, the May 29th, 2 more weeks from there? Maybe late that week?
No, I have a trial in Oconto County.
I have a trial also.
How about the week before, May 22nd?
Yeah.
Maybe late in the week?
How about June 12th?
What about June 8th?
Trial?
June 13th or 15th?
How about the 15th in the morning? June 15th is a Thursday.
Could you do the 16th?
I could do the 16th as well.
Well, this is going out a little bit far. If we could go back to May, was that May 16th?
Okay, let me, I'm getting ready to show another clip. So enjoy the music while you wait. Give me a second to find the other clip.
So they found him.
Ooh. Oh, hold it just a second. Okay, Jack, you can speak.
All right.
Go ahead.
So they found him guilty of everything,
Yes, everything. They found him guilty of everything.
even that haircut back from 1972.
What? Wait. I tell you, Jack, he's something else. I host. Oh, wait a minute. Am I doing this right? Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen, so I can find this other clip. Now, the next clip I'm going to show you is the victim, the one who died. They never found the body. His mother. We're gonna hear what the mother has to say. I was wondering about what she had to say. Just give me a second so I can find it. There she go. There she go.
Meet three people who took control of.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this here. All right, this clip I'm going to show is the victim's mother. So we're going to hear what the mother has to say, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it.
I just, hello, I just want to thank everyone that showed for support for my pocho and the family over the years, either through postings and showing up here in court during trial, and especially during closings and waiting for a verdict. People have lives, they have jobs, they have children, and yet they were here waiting with us for pocho. So I want to thank them. When it goes to law enforcement, I will, Jessica has already said that what all they did, and I've always maintained that I was always very grateful to law enforcement agencies that had been investigating this case. Everything short of finding my son, and so now we look for him. Any type of remain or any evidence that we can find of where my pocho is, I ask the public to please be vigilant and be watchful.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is so sad. She don't know where her son is at. He's gone. No proper burial, nothing. No blessing, nothing. She never getting the final closure. So sad. And I believe he has a child. He has children too. Their father. Okay, let's get back to it, ladies and gentlemen. And make sure everybody hit the like, replay watchers, hit the like, share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. If you need to reach me, you can find me in my email in the description. Let's get it. Resume.
Watchful if they see anything. So please report it. Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about your thoughts right now after hearing the verdict and maybe some of those thoughts as the jury was going through deliberations?
While the jurors were deliberating, I was very anxious, being familiar with waiting for verdicts, but now it was so personal. This was my son. So I was overthinking it. Are they doing this? Are they doing that? I was very anxious, but a message to the jurors is that I'm grateful to them that they were listening to the evidence that the state presented and to the testimonies that were given. And I am eternally grateful, my husband and I, our family, for their verdicts, and that Rosalio, my pocho, has finally have justice, at least in the court of law.
This morning, I talked to you for a little bit, and you told me that you prayed for justice and you prayed for his body to be brought back to his loved ones.
Right.
You have one of your prayers answered right now.
Yes.
How does that feel?
It feels wonderful. It feels that God is good, and that God is watching over us and watching over my pocho, and that some justice, the justice that I was waiting for these 3 years, has come true. It's here. We just heard it a few moments ago.
And you sat in court all weeks straight, watching the man who killed your son. How difficult was that to remain so composed and so thoughtful throughout this whole trial?
I did it because I respect the court, for one thing, but I'm representing my son, and I don't want to let him down, not even in death. When he's gone, I think I got my strength from him, trying to represent him to the best, because he was such a wonderful son. Amen. And father and friend, and people showed up. Pocho was loved. Amen. Pocho was loved, and so I think that helped.
Celia, early on when we met by phone nearly a year ago, when people were looking for Rosalio, and I know in talking with you then, it seemed like each day dragged on, and that each day didn't know if there would be any type of resolution.
And what we
How does that contrast to where we are today and those early days of this?
I felt in my heart that justice would be served. I always felt that. But I also know the unpredictability of jurors, but I feel that they listened to the state's evidence and to the testimonies, and they realized that Zachariah Anderson had murdered my son.
Can you explain the ribbons you all are wearing?
Who can talk to that? Oh, there you go. Uh-huh.
So the red and black is symbolizing of murder victims, and bringing awareness to their families and how much impact that this person had when they were alive and how much they have when they're gone.
What's your name?
Selena Mythos.
Can you spell your first and last?
SELENA MYTHOS.
What's your relationship with Rosalio?
He was like family. I grew up with his uncle. We were really close. Him and my mom were.
This was a very contentious trial. There was a number of times where the jurors were sent out of the room to discuss the evidence that would come in. Can you talk about any concerns? Did that bring up any concerns for you, for anyone to?
Jessica, you want to answer?
I mean, I don't know what your concerns. Obviously, this trial had more stopping and starting than I think anything I've been a part of. And I know District Attorney Gravely echoes that sentiment. But there's always concern because it's someone making a decision about evidence. But thankfully with this group of people, especially because she's obviously been in the system in terms of working with the system, we've always been able to have very candid conversations about what is going on, how we perceive it's going to happen. District Attorney Gravely's been doing this about I'm not going to age him here, but 34 years roughly, give or take. And so he has a very good handle on being in front of Judge Schrader, knowing what's coming in terms of being able to prepare people. So there were a lot of curveballs here, but we knew that legally speaking, we had solid footing on a lot of these issues. And so we went in with confidence, although obviously it was touch and go there for a couple of minutes on some different issues. But ultimately, we got in the evidence we needed to get in, and the jury was able to make the right decision, which we're so thankful for.
You were a huge part of the trial as well as your daughter. Can you talk about how you were able to get through that?
Well, I think.
Okay, this is the lady that was being stalked. That's the one who was found guilty. His baby mama, they broke up, and she started dating again, and she said he was stalking her, so he was found guilty for stalking her. And all right, well, we'll go for the rest here.
Just having the support of friends, family, people that I don't know. I think just that really helped give us the strength to get through it. Yeah.
Sadie, if you care to talk about this, I mean, this is something that you probably never expected that you would be drawn into, that you would be standing here today based on some texting back and forth in February of that year.
Of course not, or would have expected this. But again, I'm just grateful to everyone who
603. I really didn't watch the trial, but I did see when his daughter took the stand. And I think that really probably did it. The jury was like, "Oh no," I think that might have sealed it right there. Resume.
supported and just waited for the truth.
So this morning you told me that there's some reward for any information into the remains of your son, and you were asking anybody who might be hunting or hiking across the state if they see anything, report to law enforcement. I guess we'll have to remind you to do that going forward this season, right?
Yes. There remains a $10,000 reward for any information. It was leading to the conviction of Zachariah Anderson. Maybe that reward remains there for any remains of my boy, if he's found, if he's found. So I asked for hunters, hikers up north and in those counties that I'm sure that I'm not sure, I feel that Zachariah Anderson.
Hold up. Melanie said, because Melanie been following this trial. Thank you for filling us in. She hadn't been dating the victim for even 2 full months, and he was dating 2 other women. Wait a minute. You know what? We're gonna go back to. Let me let this finish. I'm gonna go back to him. Let me start this. Please remind me. I want to go back to that comment. All right, let's watch the rest of this. We're gonna talk about that one.
Was most comfortable and most familiar with, that is where he disposed of my son.
So you spent the last year here since the trial was first supposed to start. What's your plans next?
No, I've been here longer. Yes, I'm going to stay here. I have my grandson, Juliet, and I work at the DA's office in Milwaukee. So I still anticipate being here another few years, and now I can concentrate on my boy and doing some of those search parties myself and through friends.
I also want to open this up to anyone that hasn't spoken. I see that there's several people in Chicago Cubs apparel. Does anyone want to say anything about maybe how you want Rosalio to be remembered and just how he is as a person?
to say anything, Miller?
We're all wearing Cubs because it was requested or encouraged by Celia here, and he was a diehard fan, and he would, he always brought the energy to any game, and and honestly, it's not just a game. He brought very positive energy to everything he did, and that's why we're all here, and we ain't going nowhere, and we stuck it out, and we found the truth, and we all believed that this was the truth, and now it's proven. So yeah, thank you to everybody who played a role in this. It's incredible. He was the best friend I ever had, and I miss him dearly, and I know we all do. But this is a huge step right here to give us as a collective the closure that we all deserve. So thank you. Yeah, my name is Jeremy Kipp, Jeremy Kipp. Might as well be brothers, but it's my best friend. I've known him for 20 something years, just like a lot of us here have. Maybe even more for a lot of us. There's family and friends here, but it's all about loyalty, and good friendships are hard to find, but we got them right here.
I'll second that. Good friendships are hard to find. I agree with that one. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the comment here. So what my girl said. All right, and Angelina says, that must be the most difficult loss, having to lose your own child. It's every parent's worst nightmare. Yeah, and they don't even know where the body. Can't even bury him. Oh my gosh, what a shame. All right, now I'm gonna go back. Now, what did Melly said something. All right, let's go back, Melly. Melly, you are a lifesaver, right? 603, because she really has filled us in, because I was so clueless, and I wish I would have caught it from the beginning. But Melly said she hadn't been dating the victim for even 2 full months. He was dating 2 other women. Now, who are you saying who's dating 2 other women? You talking about the one that was found guilty? Or let me stop sharing this. Are you talking about the one that was found guilty, or are you talking about the one who's dead that was dating 2 other women? Sadie has had multiple boyfriends over the years. Oh, so this is strange. So if she's been out here dating several men, why all of a sudden it was this dude that he wanted to kill? And he was stalking. Interesting. Let me go back. Let me see if Sadie said anything else. I mean, not Sadie. I'm calling you Sadie. Did Melanie say anything else? I apologize. Let me look in the comments. Let's look at the comments here. Oh, Pam. Hugs and kisses to you, beautiful. You up in the house. I see you creep through the back door. All quiet. All right. Where are we at? Melanie says something. The victim. Oh, okay. So it was the victim. She was only dating him for 2 months. Gosh. 2 months. And then he dies. And then I was hearing something. They were saying how the closing arguments, how blood was splattered all over the place. That was insane. You know what? Maybe I could find that one. Let me find the closing arguments. We have a little time. I didn't want to keep you all here past an hour. All right, so just give me a second. Maybe I could find the closing arguments. Oh boy. All right. Jack, I'm getting ready to change the audio, so don't say anything. I just want to put the audio on so they can listen to somebody. Wait. All right, I'm going to see if I can find that closing argument so we can listen to a little bit of what happened to him. The prosecution's closing argument. So enjoy the music while you wait. And I'll get back to the comments. Just give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. My girl popped on. All right, let me pause this. Melanie, you done popped on here. Okay, give me a second. Let me change this here. Can you hear it? Hello,
I think I can hear you.
All right, I can hear you too. All right, hold. Let me just change the setting because you might be echoing to everybody. So we
Oh,
be echoing.
I just
Okay.
turned the audio off on my actual YouTube stream. That might help.
Oh no, it's on my thing on my end. I gotta figure
Okay.
out this whole thing or whatever. But let me just check with everybody before you start talking. Can everybody hear Melanie? Please let me know before she starts talking. Okay. Let me know if you can hear her. Let's just wait a second. Can everybody hear Melanie? Yeah. Okay, we got a bunch of yeses. All right, girl, fill us in. What's going on?
Okay. I'm going to start this with and tell everybody that I can't say he didn't do it,
Okay.
but I can't say he did.
Okay.
So I was disappointed in the verdict. But okay, so Sadie has been off and on with this guy for 14 years. She's dated multiple people in different states during every breakup, and they're all still alive. This new guy she's dating, she hadn't even been dating him for 2 months. She had just met his children for the first time. He's not met her children, and they're not in a committed relationship. So I don't understand why it was this guy that would set Zach off.
Oh, I see why you feel you're saying because she's been in several relationships, and her and her child's father been off and on for 14 years. Why all of a
Yeah.
sudden this is the guy that he decides he wants to kill?
Right. So she has the daughter that we all heard testify. Then there's a set of twins that are much younger. So they have the daughter together. They break up for several years. They get back together. They have the twins. They break up again. So she's off and on with this guy over all these years. The victim, he was dating 2 other women via Facebook dating.
Oh.
So that doesn't make any sense.
Oh.
The guy hasn't been declared dead. He's still listed as a missing person.
But the little bit that I did hear with the closed argument, but it was, I guess, a lot of blood, so they assume he was dead, I guess. I don't
They're
know.
assuming, yes, which it was quite a bit of blood.
Okay.
But they haven't declared him dead. They're just assuming he's dead. Now, his ex, the mother of his children, she needs a death certificate so she can collect his Social Security benefits.
That's what I was just thinking.
Those Social Security benefits are 100% more reliable than child support, and especially child support from Rosalio. So some of that doesn't make any sense. The blood in the apartment, the blood in the crime scene was all the victims. There's no DNA, no blood, no nothing in that apartment from the man that was just convicted. Nothing.
Okay, so probably big bloodshed. A little bit I do know. Well, I guess they saying that somebody came to the door. Rosalia, the victim, he comes to the door. Whoever has attacked him, and they found some sort of wood pieces or whatever. But you're saying there was no DNA from him, nothing at all in the crime.
None.
Oh,
Rosalio is a good 50 to 75 pounds bigger than Zach. Not one scratch, not one bruise, not one scrape or bump on Zach anywhere. And they arrested him about 24 hours later. So.
So she found his body, correct?
She found his body because he hadn't texted her. but that even that testimony, I had some issues with it. I mean, they weren't in that type of a relationship. So when he didn't, that the night that they assume he died, he didn't
Okay.
text her, and he didn't text her the next morning. So midday, she drives out to his house, and there was some splatter. Then she didn't quite know what it was that was on his actual door.
Okay.
And then she went around to the patio door. The screen was closed, but the door was open. So she opened the screen and started in and saw what she saw, and then called the police.
Oh.
So, okay. And then they immediately went after Zach because, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. He was stalking Sadie.
Okay. Okay.
He was not stalking Rosalio, but he was definitely stalking Sadie. So, I don't know. I don't know. His van had a pinpoint of DNA in the back, and it's familial DNA. It wasn't even a straight match to the blood in his apartment. It was familial DNA. It was a speck, and it wasn't blood. But the sample was so small, no other tests could be run on it. And
But
that
what?
was in the back of Zach's van, and it was a drop. It wasn't a smear.
Okay, but what about the removing of the rug or something from his van that they were
Oh,
saying?
okay. He's a contractor, and he uses that minivan to haul materials from the job site. Every one of those guys, I know tons of them. I have a degree in construction management. I know a lot of contractors.
Okay.
The first thing they do is they take the carpet out of the backs of their vans because it's just a dirt trap. And when you load up your van with stuff for the dump, it grabs and holds, whereas metal to metal, you just pull it out. But the carpet was still in the front and in the middle row where he would put his kids.
Oh.
Right? They said the van smelled like bleach, but when they sprayed it with luminol, it didn't light up. Luminol lights up bleach.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And then how does he get, okay, so that apartment had probably, they said, four to 5 quarts of blood in it.
Mm-hmm.
You would imagine that's on the person that did the crime too.
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be, yes. How is it not in the driver's area of his van? That hadn't been cleaned. That was a filthy, dirty mess. Like really filthy, dirty mess. How did he do this? Get a body out with nobody seeing he's carrying 250 pounds, and then get home and not have any of that in his van.
Gosh, Melly, you really filling in a lot. Oh, this is a lot to think about.
No, I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm not
Right.
saying he didn't do it because
See why you might have, your doubts. Like it just, yeah, he's a big guy. All this blood in the crime scene. Where's the blood in his car? Why he doesn't have any blood? She dated so many different guys. Why is this guy?
Ma'am, you should have been his attorney.
Oh no, man. That Nicole
He would have
Moore,
gotten off. He would have gotten off.
that female attorney he had, what a firecracker. That woman is powerful. The first day or two, she really agitated me. And then you started catching her style, and man, she's smart. But those are the problems with the case that I saw. They also used what they call them. I'm just going to say it, a murder kit.
Okay.
And they showed his shopping trip to Walmart.
Right.
And they said he bought a murder kit. He bought 2 bags of tall kitchen garbage bags. He bought the bleach wipes, 2 packs of bleach wipes, and 2 packs of the nitrile gloves in 2020 when we were all buying the gloves and the wipes. That's it.
Oh, that's why you put that in the comments. I remember you said tall bags, like
Tall
that's the
kitchen
regular.
bags.
Yeah, that's the regular like little white bags. That's not
Right.
you put body.
Rosalio's 250 pounds. What were those kitchen garbage bags going to do? I'm confused by it. But a jury, our system gives the power to the jury. And the jury, they deliberated long and hard, and they decided he was guilty. And so that's what we have to accept.
Yeah.
But
basically.
God, I hope nobody around me goes missing because I've got tall garbage bags.
Yeah.
And I've got a burn pit. And we did just burn clothes in our burn pit. So
Oh my gosh, that's true. Just like if you order knapsacks and pressure cookers on Amazon at the same time, oh, they're gonna think you doing a crime. You gotta be
yeah, just
careful.
don't do that.
Yeah, you'll be in trouble.
Don't do that. So those are my problems with it. The Sadie, a lot of people call her Shady Sadie. I'm not going to stoop that low because
Okay.
she's just a woman who's trying to raise her family.
Mhm.
But of the things, Zach had a full-on grow up going in his house. And Sadie knew it. And the daughter said there were 72 plants. Why didn't Sadie use that to get his visitation stripped?
Oh my gosh, you are so good. I didn't even think about that. That's true because she's sitting there knowing how many plants, and I'm sitting like, how do you know 72? And your dad is no, it doesn't make sense. You're right. Why was
Yeah,
she
and
okay
then
with that?
yeah, and then that gun issue that the little girl testified to. That happened many years ago, and all of that's been dropped.
All right,
But
what
if
was the
that
gun
really
issue?
happened, Sadie, why didn't you run him through a family court, an emergency family court, and have his rights stripped? It would have taken 5 minutes.
Yeah,
And she didn't.
you have 72 up in your house of yeah, I think she would have won.
My kids ain't going nowhere that there's 72 plants going in a house. My kids aren't spending the night with anybody that's running a grow up. So there were a lot of problems with it. But again, a jury decided it was enough.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we have to go with.
See, I thought that there was some of his DNA was somewhere in the house. Like I said, I didn't really follow the whole thing. I just caught like the end. But
None.
there's no DNA of him.
None. There is an unaccounted for DNA. It's on
Mm-hmm.
Rosalio's cell phone, but they can't trace it to anybody. It doesn't match any DNA profile that they could compare it to. The other thing, he has 2 hours to do this in. It takes him 30 or 45 minutes to get there. There's no street cam, traffic cam, business camera that catches his van going or coming back. It takes 30 to 45 minutes to get there, do the dirty, 30 to 45 minutes to get home. But in that 2 hours, he also has to dump that body. So kind of like with Murdaugh, it's a tight time frame.
Yeah, because there's cameras everywhere. Everywhere you have cameras. Everywhere. So, like you said, and this is a big guy. How do you dispose? How do you do all this? And there's no blood in your car. I mean, if he, this person got beat to death or whatever it was, they say it was like so much blood around that it had to get something on you. You don't have no injuries, and they arrested him quick. What you said? They arrested him like a couple hours, or after they found his body, or something like that.
The next night.
The next night. So how long was he? Well, how long did they say that he was dead? I mean,
They don't really know. They're basing his time of death on a 2-hour window that Zach's phone was turned off.
Hmm.
So they decided that was the time of death.
Wow. You know, this is
There's
something to think about, because if I'm more with the, cameras and DNA. That's my whole thing. It's like, if you got cameras and DNA, you did it. I don't want to hear it. But I would hate
right,
to know somebody's going to jail for
right.
something like this and never coming out. You're done for the rest of your life. Yeah, he was stalking her to
He
do it
was.
and everything. And
Yeah.
like I said, I didn't know that they was only dating, because I was curious, how long were they dating? I didn't know that they was only dating for what? We said like almost 2 months, and she's been with other guys. Why this is the dude that is like, all of a sudden, I gotta kill him. He gotta
Right.
go.
Right. And that might have been the guy that just set him off.
That's a
It,
possibility.
it's a
Nothing.
possibility. But if it had been me having to make that decision, I wouldn't have been able to take his life and liberty from him based on what I saw. So I think it's a good thing I wasn't on the jury. It was probably good. But those are the little things that I came up with. I'm not saying Zach's a good guy. He's not. He's
Mhm.
not.
And sometimes people have to think about these people that's be on the jury. They don't want to be bothered. They just want her to get this over with, and they don't want to argue with the other person. If you on the jury and you feel no, he's innocent, and everybody else he's guilty, they want to be done. So it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna say guilty. I just want her to get out of here. I gotta get to work. I gotta get to my kids. I can't be bothered, and that's
Right.
sad. Because you're dealing with people's personalities. You can have somebody on there that don't really want to be there, don't want to be bothered. Oh yeah, he did it. Yeah, he been stalking us. Yeah, he did it, but not really looking into detail and not really realizing you're gonna, your verdict could put this man in jail for life. He's never coming out. Do you know the stuff that happens in jail? He has children. It's a lot to think about, but some people just don't care. It's not them.
It it's it's rough. It's rough, but it's our system, and it's the best system out there, you know? But then you got to think about the daughter that they put on the stand. The state put that daughter on the stand. At any time, Sadie could have said no. She is a minor. No. But she coached her up, put her on the stand, and let her give that testimony to convict her father. What do you think that little girl, who's now 14, what do you think that little girl is going to live with for the rest of her life?
Oh wow.
They should
Yeah.
have left that poor little girl out of it. She didn't give anything that could convict him other than stalking. She could confirm he's tracking her. She can confirm that. Her mother should have never let her be put on the stand, because now the little girl lives it, and it will never go away. And as she gets older, she's going to question what she said, and she's going to think,
Mhm.
did my dad really do it?
Mhm.
Did I say something that got him put in that horrible place? The children should just be left out of it.
So what was the thing that was going on in the trial? They was talking about with the sign language. He did this to his lips, and she did this, and they was getting upset. The prosecution and the defense. What was that about?
Oh my goodness. That little girl was pretty sassy. She was really, really sassy.
Okay.
Zach absolutely lifted his fingers to his mouth like a shh, and pushed his lips down.
Okay.
But her mother was in the pew signing to her. Her mother, she is a sign language interpreter, and the little girl was taught to sign before she learned to talk. And so Sadie was back there signing to her.
Oh.
Oh,
This
there was
is
some
this
there was
is
some
so
dirty
bad.
dogs on everywhere in that court. There were dirty dogs everywhere. So that's what all that was. So Sadie says she was being disrespectful, and as a mother, I was trying to make her calm down. And defense lawyers said, well, we didn't see Zach do it, but we would imagine when she was being sassy that he was trying to calm her down like a father would do.
Oh, I get. So you saying he was kind of signaling to her, calm down, relax.
Yeah.
But mama could be, basically signaling to her like, this is what you do, blah, 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 coaching her.
That that little girl was so coached. But again, folks, don't let your kid be the one that puts away their father when they're a child like that. I mean, it's just not okay. Think about the kid. So they didn't need anything she had to say. They would have convicted him anyways.
Melanie, yeah, I'm so glad you filling this in because I did not. I just assumed there was DNA. There's a bunch of cameras, but there's nothing.
There's nothing.
That's
there
important.
is. I mean, there is that drop of DNA in the van that was Rosalio's. I can't explain how it got there.
But if all of that blood, it should have been way more in his van.
Right.
And you're saying that the reason why the rug was taken up because of his job or whatever's typical, whatever to do. So that doesn't make you a killer. And he going to the store, he's buying tall bags of garbage bags. Well, everybody do that. I mean, not big, because to get big bags, where's the body at? This guy's way bigger than him. Ooh.
And he also was harvesting those 72 plants. And though a lot of the product was in those tall garbage bags. So I don't think the bags were for body parts.
Yes.
I mean, there was no time. There was no time to break the goods down. So
wow. Now, let me ask you this question. What was the problem with the black guy, the big black guy that was on the stand, the convict or whatever? What was
Mr. Washington?
Okay, what was the problem with him? And then what was the problem with the other guy? I guess the other guy was Spanish. What was the problem with the big black guy?
Okay. He's on federal charge. He's in there on federal charge this time around. He's in there on federal charges, and he's looking at about 40 years of lockup. They gave him 10 years off of his sentence to come testify. So Mr. Washington says that in Zach's sleep one night, he had a bad dream and was yelling in his sleep, die, 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 MF or die.
Oh, so he got 40 years. So you testify, you get a 10 years taken off.
Right. It was going to bring what it was going to, in the end, what it will do is it'll bring him down to about a 15-year that he'll actually serve. Okay. So that's the way it goes. The second guy that came in for the defense. He said,
okay,
his testimony was that Mr. Washington told him how to jump a case. Here's what you got to do. You got to jump a case. If you're on federal charges, jump a case, because you can make up anything and testify to it and get time off from your sentence.
Okay, hold on. Let me get this right. The big black guy,
Mr. Washington.
Right. Mr. Washington. The Spanish guy, the smaller one. Say it again. So Mr. Washington, oh, I'm lost. The Spanish guy was telling Mr. Washington what to do to jump a case to get off? I'm lost. Okay, go on.
No, the other way. Mr. Washington was teaching him how to jump a case so that he could get time off. And the second guy was supposed to testify for the state, but he did not do it because he would not confirm what Mr. Washington was saying. And he kept telling them, I never heard that. So the state dropped him and the defense picked him up and he got nothing. The second guy got nothing off
Oh,
of his
okay.
sentence.
Okay. Now I'm getting it. Okay.
Yeah. So it's just the battling jailhouse snitch. I mean, it's, who do you believe? Myself, I don't ever count either. I don't listen to a jailhouse snitch testimony. It doesn't. It just doesn't compel me. So that was what happened there. But the prosecutor, whenever Mr. Washington said the die MFer, the prosecutor was mouthing it at the same time.
Okay, so you feel that the prosecutor was kind of doing a little coaching too with it?
I don't know because it was simultaneous. I don't think he was coaching, but I think he was in the groove of exactly what he knew the guy was going to say. I think the coaching had already been done, but he was just, and he's when he's mouthing it, he's emphasizing it to the jury, and that's not allowed. I mean, the whole trial was crazy. So the group that I watched that in, the group I was watching that in, we're watching along. The camera goes up, and the commentator is saying, Scott's saying, I don't know why the DA is still there. He is now a witness. Firecrackers are still going off, man. It's going to be hot. And then you hear it go over the court feed. The judge had YouTube open with our group and the commentary running.
I was noticing. I was like, can you do that? I noticed because I was seeing the chat box, and I'm like, you're not supposed to have the chat box. I caught that scene. That part.
We're all like, whoa. Yeah. So I don't know if the judge was really watching that group or if that's what popped up when he took the flash drive out of his computer.
All I have to say, I mean, I think the judge had his prime days, years ago. It's time to retire because it looked like to me he wanted to take a nap or he took a quick nap or something. I was like, oh my gosh.
You can tell he's a good man. I don't agree with all of his rulings, but I do agree with he's a good man. But you can tell it's time to maybe teach.
Right. Yeah, sit back, just teaching. Enjoy your great grandchildren. Have a good time. You did your thing. But some people just, when it comes to power, and especially with men, it's kind of hard for them to let it go. It's just a thing.
He worked hard for that power. So, yeah. But anyway, okay, that's my take on it. Once again, I'm going to say, I didn't see anything that proved he was innocent, but I never saw anything that proved he was guilty.
You know what, Millie? Thank you for filling us in because, like I said, I caught it at the end. I didn't really follow the whole thing, but and I remember you was putting, your comments in. I was like, what? And you really, clear things up because that's something to think about. I'm really strong with DNA with cameras. Like when I was doing an Italian rolling, when I was showing that one, I'm like, I couldn't understand what is wrong with you? You don't see that's your son trying to sell the cell phone. That's your son picked her up in the car. And the video shows, him using her debit card and everything. So it's all the proof right there. Videos of DNA, you can't argue with that. But if there's no DNA of this guy and he doesn't have no markings, which he should have, if this big guy, you beat him up, blood should be all over the vehicle.
Right.
And if, she's been dating they've been off and on. She's had plenty of other lovers. Now she meet this guy after not even full 2 months, and he's like, oh, this one has to die. But like you said, possibility maybe could have snapped. Like, oh no, I'm tired of it. Maybe couldn't take it with her being with other You know, the man, I don't know, but I'm really strong with DNA and cameras.
Cameras. And that's an apartment complex. How did he get a body out of there at like 11 o'clock at night into the parking lot where everybody has a sliding door facing the parking lot and nobody saw it?
It is apartment complex. When I seen the picture, yeah. This has to be neighbors. Nobody else see anything? Doesn't add up.
No. They have they have one neighbor who says she heard something, but she's changed the day and the time several times. And then this other unit, a young man and his girlfriend, they said they heard nothing, but they wouldn't hear anything in their back bedroom.
Oh wait a minute, hold a
But
second. That was the young couple, the girl with the long hair, and she had like a
yeah,
sweatshirt. Okay.
yeah, so nothing compelling there either. So, or the pizza box that was sitting there with the receipt on it. The police didn't try to find out where that pizza box was delivered from or talk to anybody to find out what time it showed up. They just, I guess it wasn't important.
Well, this is crazy. That's one thing. I just hope, I hate to know that innocent man, going to jail. I know if I was on, I don't even want to be on the jury, but if I was, and I'm the first, I'm like, where's the DNA? Where's the cameras? What's proving it?
Right.
You have to explain to me. Then we'd be sitting here arguing, and like I said, it'd be people on the jury. They want to be done with. They want to go home. They don't even want to be here. They don't care, not even thinking of it. Of this is someone's life. This is their life right here. You holding their life in the palm of your hands. They're going to be in jail for the rest of their life. You know what happens in jail? They're away from their family. Are you kidding me? You have to take this more serious. But some people just, don't care. Because I know if I was on the
Right.
jury, where's the DNA? Where's the cameras? No DNA?
Well,
Well, sorry. You
uh,
innocent to me.
one of our people in chat makes a really, really good point that there are so many people that have been railroaded into life sentences that are innocent. No kidding. I've been watching a lot of those, and to overturn the wrongful convictions, it is hard. Now that's usually against a young black man. Zach is not,
Mm-hmm.
but it happens so much, and we really need to fix that. We don't want guilty people out on the street, but we
True.
don't want innocent people locked up.
Exactly. Wow.
So
Woo.
so yeah. And by the way, when
Uh-huh.
Sadie says she's scared to death of him,
Okay.
of Zach,
Mm-hmm.
no, they read all her text messages. She's still having him over to spend the night.
I caught that a little bit. I did watch it in court that he was still sleeping over. So I'm like, wait a minute. If you're not together, why is he sleeping over?
Absolutely. And then the text messages between Sadie and the victim are he's saying, I know people. I'm going to go have his legs busted, about the guy that was convicted. So
About the, okay, hold a second. So you saying the one who's the victim, he was texting Sadie that he would have the child's father, her ex-boyfriend, beat up or whatever. That's what you're saying?
yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Yes,
Wow.
ma'am. So
I'm so disappointed in the jury. You got to be kidding me.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just.
Well, like I said, and I'll say it again, I'm all about DNA and I'm all about cameras. Anybody who's been watching me, I'm like, there's the DNA, there's the cameras. How do you not did it? The same thing with Surat. I mean, we have the camera. We see you driving the vehicle. You're smiling, like you're having a good time running over people. Of course, you did it. But
Sewer rat was easy to convict. That was.
Oh yeah.
That was a slam dunk.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Definitely. He just wanted to
yeah,
go out with a
so
show.
so people think about it. If you have a burn pit, if you live rural, don't burn clothes in it.
Ooh.
I mean, I walked out to our burn pit and looked. We live rural. Zach was on like 4.5 acres.
Mhm.
I went out to our burn pit and I looked at it and I'm like, oh man, daughter, we have got to get the buttons from the jeans out of here because somebody's going to lock us up for murder. But people that don't live in an area that burns, they think that that's odd. Well, it's not odd for us. We burn. We have garbage service, but
Right.
but we only have garbage twice a month. And if something happens and the garbage man doesn't come one day,
Oh
he
boy.
doesn't he doesn't make a
Mhm.
trip back. Then we only have garbage one day for the month.
I understand.
So we do end up burning a lot, but it's legal where I'm at.
Oh, okay.
And we're out in the middle of absolutely nowhere.
Mm.
So was Zach, middle of nowhere. So I didn't find that odd. But I guess if you take all of it and you add it together, it looks bad. I don't know. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Nobody hate me.
We don't hate you. We love you, girl. Thank you for sharing all this because you made a whole lot of clarity. Like I said, I was at the end. I kept saying, look, I just following this. I'm just showing. I don't know exactly what's happening. I'm just assuming there was DNA. I'm assuming there was cameras. And come to find out there isn't.
There's a
So,
speck of DNA. There is a speck,
oh, a little speck.
but it's
Okay.
not blood.
But a big guy like that, and a little bit I heard in the closing argument with the prosecution, they made it seem like blood was all over the place. Well, then why is it not on his vehicle? How come there's no cameras seeing him lifting this big guy in his vehicle? And now if you tell me he lives a distance in the time period, it just doesn't add up. But like I said,
Right.
now it's just so sad with juries. They have so much power over somebody's life, and you just don't know what they're gonna decide. And it could, like I said, there could be somebody on the jury who just want to go home. I'm tired. You've been in situations and it was a group or whatever, and people's like, look, I just want to go home. Look, let's just say anything, get the heck out of here. But you'd be like, no, we can't do that. So for some people they don't care. And it's still sad. A lot of people they don't put themselves, they don't have empathy, and they don't put themselves in somebody else's shoes. They only think about themselves.
Right.
Better you than me, that kind of attitude. And it's wrong. It really shouldn't feel that way, but it is what it is. You got, how many people in the jury? What, 10, 12, whatever
12.
people in the jury? 12 people in the jury? And it could be somebody feeling the same way that you feel, but they could have been pressured and bullied. Like, look, you're not going to keep us any longer. Let's just guilty.
At which point they could sit there and think to themselves, well, I can't say he didn't do it.
Right.
But the preponderance of evidence has to be, in opposite. I mean, you have to know he did it. It has to be greater that he did it. I mean, it has to be, you're certain. And it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. So I don't know. I don't know. But there will be appeals. There will be an appeal. There's some things that happened in the trial that an appeals court could absolutely grant him a new trial. There were some shady things. But that's like maybe 5% chance of that. So
Let's see what
so
happens.
it is what it is.
So you did watch the first trial that was a mistrial. Did you watch that one?
I did not watch that one. I got a really, really good recap on it though.
Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha.
So they'd not that it was, first couple of days, and the state's witness that came in and hit the stand testified to different facts than she testified to on her deposition. Said something totally different than what was on her deposition.
Mm.
And that all came out to the jury, so it was deemed a mistrial.
Mm.
So then they did it again.
Well, Melanie, thank you so much. You have filled
Well,
us
thank
in.
you.
I'm glad you popped up here, girl.
Well,
And you
thank you for
filled
having
up
me. This was fun.
This was fun. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Feel the correct. Like I said, I was lost. I was just streaming, and I kept saying, "Look, everybody, I don't know what to say about this," but I just assume. You know how it normally goes. DNA and cameras. That's usually what puts you in the predicament you in. But come to find out, it might not always be the case. Just
Might
because you
not
know.
always, yeah.
Yeah, you just know the person because you was dating the person. Because you know how it goes. If you come missing, the first person they want to check is your love interest. Who are you dating? Who you was in a relationship with? They snatching your computer. They checking your text messages. Who you was texting? Who's the last person? Blah 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 blah. You know, that's how it goes. But seem
Yep.
like Sadie is a little shady. They say, huh? Never know.
Oh my gosh. I feel bad, but everybody, we do call her Shady Sadie. So, I mean, I just think about her actions as a mother and I'm a mother, and I might have gone through a very, very, very ugly divorce. It was tough. And I might have been fearful, and he might have stalked me.
Right.
But I can tell you, I stood tall and I was loud and proud. And I followed the legal procedures, and it worked. I protected my children. I didn't let them I was not putting them in the middle of me. I can't control what your dad says, but we're not talking about it. So I just can't imagine a mother not standing up and doing that.
Wow.
So,
Amen.
but anyways, I'm going to let you go, and you can finish your stream.
Well, I'm going to end it now. You basically fill in the little gaps that wanted to know. You answered all the questions. Thank you.
It was a good case for anybody to go back and rewatch it. It's a good case to watch and think about how the law works.
You know what? After what you just said, I am going to take time to really watch it beginning to the end because I didn't, like I said, I came at the tail end of it, but I am going to watch and I'm very curious because I just, like I said to you, and I'm saying to everybody, I assumed DNA cameras, and all that, but there was a little speck, like you said, but it didn't lead to him. So see
Right.
But thank you so much, Melanie, and thank you for being a part of this channel. Thank you, girl. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, girl. Thank you. And to everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you for engaging and stuff. This was a crazy case, but I'm definitely going to go back and watch. Yeah, I'm going to watch it. And it's just so sad. My closing thoughts is if he didn't do it, poor man in jail for life for something that he didn't do. And that's not cool. And what my girl over here said, BG said, I can't with Surad, not ready for him again. Yeah, he's going back there. I got a premiere tomorrow afternoon. Yes, tomorrow afternoon of on Surrat, the update with this numbskull Surrat. You know what? I tell you, narcissists and sociopaths, they just don't seem to go away. They don't go away. And but shout out to Melanie. Thank you so much for coming up here and explaining things about this trial to all of us because I was lost. I know a lot of people over here was probably lost and all that stuff. And Pauline says, good night. Oh, at 6:03, hugs and kisses to you and blessings. Have a good night. Pauline said, good night, everyone. Have a blessed night and see everyone tomorrow. God bless. And you too, Pauline. And good night, Pam. Good night to Melvia. Good night to you, BG, to the mods. Thank you, Jack, for being here. Marlene, have a blessed night. Blessed night. And that's just about all I have to say for everybody. Everybody have themselves a good night. And always remember, ladies, stay dusty free. Wait a minute, hold a second. Messed up here. Like I say to ladies, stay dusty free, and men, stay dusted free, and you'll be okay. All right? Date smart, not thirsty. Bye.